mercy. Ain't no mercy.
Now that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is out, it is time to rank all the Jurassic Park films from worst to best. This is just my opinion. You're allowed to have yours. This is a really divisive franchise, so some people might have favorites and some people might have not. So whatever you list, it doesn't have to also be mine. This is just my personal opinions on what I thought of the films. So take it as that, and I'll explain why I think the way I think. So coming in at number 5, we had Jurassic Park 3. Now this is a pretty disappointing film overall as a Jurassic Park movie. As a action thriller, it is okay. I could look at it at that. It is fine. It's just that it didn't add anything new. And when you go into a third film in a trilogy, you wanted things to close in the best possible way. I think it's because that they had plans for other movies that they wanted to go to, and that this is sort of a filler, which I thought if that was the case, this is a really poor choice. There was also some production issues with the script not being able to finish even during filming, so you could see that. The only thing that saved it was Alan Grant, some of the special effects and action scenes, the set designs, and a few cool moments. And the story was just on the nose. It's not terrible. It is just not anything special. So that's why it is, in my opinion, the worst in the franchise. I don't think it is as bad as other people say, but I do understand why not a lot of people will like this film. So I'll leave it at that. And now to number 4, we have Jurassic World. Now, I don't hate this movie. I actually really like it. I thought it was really good. It felt like something that Michael Crichton would originally publish from his first Jurassic Park novel, which is supposed to be through the eyes of a kid. And this film really does encapsulate that mindset of you following the kid through the park, and I loved all that. Chris Pratt was great. Much of the special effects were really good, though there is a little bit of an over-reliance on it. The militarized dinosaur stuff is completely unnecessary. I understand why it's there, but I felt like they could have done something else, because that is overall a really stupid idea. But overall, those are like my biggest problems, including a few characters that just I seem to didn't care. Everything else about the film was great. The main cast with the kids and Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, they were really good. I really liked Masrani. I loved the action scenes. I loved the idea of a new theme park and the fun of it all being encapsulated into John Hammond's original dream. I really like all that. Just as when it gets to that military subplot, it drags a little bit, and it does have a bit of an over-reliance on CG, but the themes of it and core of the film just really reminded me of what Michael Crichton would write in his original novels, and I really loved that about this film, so I had to give it an A-. This is also tied with The Lost World, which is coming up at number 3. Now, The Lost World, I always am in a little bit of a confrontation between which one is better, Jurassic World or The Lost World. I really like both of these movies equally. So I think I had to give The Lost World a little bit of a score because that movie is really different from the first Jurassic Park, where Jurassic World is almost like the exact kind of tone that Jurassic Park was, just without much of the thrills and horror elements that first movie had. This one is a completely different film on its own, and I think that is why I really like it more than Jurassic World. Though it is hard for me to choose which one is better. I think I'll have to go with The Lost World because it is a much different film. It is about Ian Malcolm going to a second island to get his girlfriend now because she's studying the dinosaurs to make a document to preserve them before the engine executives come and take him to San Diego to make a park. So I really liked the idea. I thought it was a more natural way to make your sequel, and Spielberg proved to be a fantastic director once again with the action and horror elements, and I love how he made this a much different and darker film. You do get an awe-inspiring scene with the Stegosaurus, but that derails quickly when the Stegosaurus try to attack Sarah Harding in a really intense scene. I loved it. The animatronics and special effects are probably still one of the best in the entire franchise, and I was really impressed by the way this film is directed. Just that in the storytelling aspect, it felt like it went from the island to San Diego too quickly, and the gymnastics scene is pretty dumb. But in all honesty, those are like the only problems I had with the film. I loved it, and I love watching it over and over again, and I'm going to give it the same grade as I gave Jurassic World, an A minus. Now, coming in at number 2, we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This is, again, another Lost World effect. A lot of people are going to like this, and a lot of people are going to hate it. And I could probably understand why people might not like the ending. To me, I felt like it was a much natural way to end the film, and really lead on into something new and fresh for the Jurassic World series to go to. And I just absolutely love this film. I love the last act of the film. It reminded me of the orphanage mixed in with Jurassic Park a bit, and it was a lot of fun. Though my favorite act had to be when they were at Isla Nublar. That was a ton of fun. The movie also had a lot of emotional moments and a lot of great dialogue and banter between Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. I think they're much better characters this time around, even more developed than in Jurassic World. I love the special effects. I think they're probably even better than in Jurassic Park: The Lost World. But the only thing that really keep it from being probably better than the first is that the villains are again bland, and the callbacks to Jurassic Park are really obvious. They're like, okay, these problems are really nitpicky. They're not gigantic flaws, but they are things that I didn't notice that I did not really like. And I wish that they could change things up, especially the villains. I wish they could be a little bit less cheesy and have a bit more development themselves. All the other characters are fine and good, but the villains, I felt like they could have been better. But those are like my only nitpicks and problems I have with the film. I loved it. I loved the pacing, especially the sound editing. It is really good, and the sound and atmosphere of the scenes just really, it just gets you in the moment. And J.A. Bayona knows how to direct horror, and he gave his own flavor to this film, and I loved it. And that's why I gave Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom an A. Not a lot of people are gonna agree with this, but this is just my opinion. I love the movie, and of course, number one, Jurassic Park. It is like the best. I mean, it did everything it needed to do right. Yes, there is a few continuity errors, but they are so minimal. Everything else from the movie is so good that brushes away so quickly. The direction, the Spielberg vibe to it that he gave, it is just everything about this film is amazing. I love the way how he uses animatronic shots for close-ups and uses a CG to give a wide shot to the dinosaurs and make them seem like they're really real. And the special effects still hold up. But I don't just go into this film remembering the dinosaurs. I go into it remembering the characters. Alan Grant, Ian Malcolm, Ellie Sattler, John Hammond. They were all fantastic. And the dinner table scene is one of my favorites. And them all talking about the park and what could come upon it, and genetic disorder, and cloning dinosaurs, playing God. It is a theme and topic that is explored throughout the film, and it is really good. I love the writing, I love the characters. Jurassic Park is the best Jurassic film in the entire franchise, and possibly we'll have to see until Jurassic World 3 comes out. But this film was really special to me because it is a film that made me want to become a film director, and why I want to do movies, and why it inspired me to do artwork and things like that. It had a huge impact on my life, and for that reason, it's not only my favorite Jurassic Park film, it is my favorite film of all time, period. So these are my rankings of the Jurassic World films / park movies. What do you guys think? Which movies would you rank higher than most? Which ones do you like? Which ones you dislike? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.
The flame. I torture you. I'm a slave.